My father had a serious accident in Germany, a motor accident, and he was rather badly injured. He also suffered from rather weak lungs, so his doctors said to him, doesn't matter where you go, but you must go to a dry, warm climate every year from now on in the winter months. So Papa said to himself, well, that's a fine kettle of fish. He likes shooting and everything else, so he decided that he'd go off at the end of the shooting season, about the beginning of February, and he went to Egypt. After he'd been there a few months, Lord Como was sent for him and said, my dear Porchy, he said, if you're coming out here regularly, you're going to be so bored you won't know what to do with yourself. So may I make a suggestion? Yes, indeed, I'd be honored if you'd tell me what to do. Right, he said, why don't you take up as a hobby Egyptology? He said, it's very interesting, and what's more, he said, it happens that at this moment of time I've got the very fellow who will help you best. He happens to be an awfully nice young man called Howard Carter, and at that moment he to the stage where he was able to see that there really was the jackpot, the hopes that they'd worked for all those years. They uncovered the steps, the first steps. And at that stage, he thought the only thing to do is to quickly cable to my father, tell him to come out, which he did. When I arrived, there was my father, pulse beating in his throat. You could see he very bloodshot eyes, obviously frightfully feverish and ill. So I say to the nurse, whatever happens, for heaven's sake, call me. Sure as fate, about 5 to 2, the good lady is shaking me awake, and she said, your father's drawn his last breath. Please come quickly. Your father disturbed the remains of King Tutankhamun. He took his revenge, and he was responsible for the whole of the lights in Cairo going out at exactly the moment he died.
Total bunkum. Lord Carnarvon gets this infection, he goes to the hospital, he dies, all the lights go out in Cairo. Now today, in your modern hotels, there's a candle in every bathroom. The lights go out in Cairo all the time.
I had a little fox terrier called Susie. And when I got back, very old-fashioned housekeeper, Mrs. McLean, said to me, I've something to tell you, my lord, really extraordinary happening. At 5 minutes to 4, and as you know, Cairo time is 2 hours, so we're 2 hours in front of Cairo, she said, Susie sat up on her hind legs. Her mouth was covered in foam. She let out a howl like a wolf and fell back dead.
The dog howls at the moment, distant in England of the death. Give me a break.
Have you talked to the guides about revising the opening hours? That sounds very, very interesting and well worth, don't you think so? Sure, the signing is much better than it was before, and we're going to, hopefully, people might leave their television and get a bit of fresh air today and miss Wimbledon.
The Earl of Carnarvon.
Aware that the A34, the 3.5 miles between Tot Hill and Newbury, is the only single carriageway between the south of Spain and Scotland. We are very worried about not opening the front of the house to the public when they arrive. This seems to be it's a problem for us. We don't like the idea of the public not coming through the front door. I mean, both Lady Carnarvon and I feel strongly that we must go back to going through the front door. There's something unattractive about the house with the front door shut when people arrive. When you come to the castle, you want to be welcomed, and there's no welcoming system. It doesn't work, obviously, the welcoming system at the back door. Better for my sake when you see these. Look at this one. Thank you, Liam. What do you think of this foal?
Morning. When you said, have you got any nice horses? Well, I don't know whether we've got any nice horses, you know.
Oh, what's the jockey ride?
Steve Raymond.
Steve Raymond ride a 2-year-old alongside a 3-year-old at level weight. This is Miss Demure, ma'am. The one, she's got a very nice.
This is the one I thought of buying, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. And she's got a very nice 3-year-old with Chapel Hyam, belongs to Sheikh Mohammed. He's a good walker, this foal.
He was
It's by Royal Academy.
Coventry, ma'am.
All right, we'll walk them down.
Thank you very much.
Not at all. Lovely having you with us.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
How's it been going?
Come and see what they bought.
These the old stables.
Yeah. A lot of it's gone already, you see. But all this has been left behind by people who've gone to do something else, go and have tea or go around the garden and didn't want to. They saw them when they arrived and they didn't want someone else to have them before they come back. So they buy them first and leave them here in the cool. So it works quite well. No, I mean, for our first day, we're very, very pleased.
Excellent.
The family have owned the land here since the time of Charles II's reign in the late 1600s.
Good afternoon, my lord. Good afternoon, my lady.
Thanks very much. Our role is that we're long-term stewards of the estate for the next generation of the castle and the estate, leaving it for the future generations to enjoy, really. We really have to do our best to make the whole place earn its living and pay its way and add value where possible. And of course you can't really get any greater value added than finding Downton Abbey being shot at Highclere itself, which adds value in fact to all the enterprises here, in all honesty, because it's really put Highclere on the map. My grandfather loved this room and he loved being in these leather chairs here. In fact, he spent much of his life around this part of the castle.